historic and turbulent year is 40 minutes away as England starts the second half off the boot of Goulding. And the ball down onto the Australian try line with them leading 10 points to 4, the Kangaroos. Hill plays it now. His hands have been safe today so far. He's had a problem with them. Larson now. 15 metres out from their own line. Tuvey has been running from dummy half and making great inroads. I saw one rugby league journalist almost failing to even consider Jeff Tuvey in the same breath as Lee Jackson. I put it to you that Tuvey's played every bit as good as Jackson as the forwards combine at close quarters, and Andrew Johns tries to get under the outstretched arm of Dennis Betts. 5 tackles gone, a good set of 6 for Australia as Fittler gets a kick in that will bounce a couple of times down to Radlinski. Off the feet. He is out now beyond the 30-metre line, so that's not a bad position to come up with the football on your first tackle. Gary Connolly doing something we haven't seen much of him doing in this match, and that is running with the football. He's been very strong in defence. The replacement is Cassidy as we go to the sidelines for a report from Chris Bombolas.
Thank you, Ray. Australian coach Bob Fulton very pleased at half-time. He wants the Kangaroos to keep going the way they did in the first 40 minutes. He wants them to keep an eye on Afai and Robinson in the kick chase. And Phil Larder for England, he wants them to contain the dummy halves, watch them making gaps up the middle, no silly penalties. And Andrew Farrell has a groin problem. He didn't stop at half-time. He ran up and down the tunnel to keep it warm, and he may be a problem in the latter stages of this second half.
That was good work there by Jason Robinson to peg the Australians back on their own 10-metre line. And here you can see that England have lifted in the urgency of their defence. Australia have used 2 and now 3, and they haven't reached the 20-metre line. So far, this has been a very good defensive effort by England as Larson now breaches that point and gives a ball down for Menzies, who steps and gets outside the 35-metre point. That has improved this set of 6 for Australia territory-wise. Now we're on 4 as Dimmick tries to bust them, and he goes between Cassidy and Smith, and now it's with Fittler. Goulding has come up, the ball has gone loose. Now they get a kick in. Dallas is offside, the ball goes over the sideline. And it's going to be an England feed.
A good pressure there from Bobby Goulding coming through, and Brad Fittler. Appeared as though Fittler had time to kick with his left foot. Dean Pay, fortunately, was back there. Kick for the sideline. Brett Dallas thought about going and catching the football, but made the wise decision. But good field position immediately for England. Australia just taking a little bit of time to get back in their stride. Early moment to the second stanza.
So it's 1-on-1 out there at the moment, but Connolly is anxious for support. Eventually he's pulled down and tackled by Brad Fittler, helped by Gary Larson, and the penalty has gone to England. It's against the tackle of Gary Larson, coming in as a second tackler after the referee had deemed the player's promotion had been halted, as the replay indicates. And now England with a very good attacking opportunity. Cassidy taking it towards the centre of the ground. Larson racking up another tackle. They put a move together which involved Goulding coming from the blind to the open, and Clark up the centre, and Jackson a dummy half, and Goulding waits on the left to go across for Betts, and Betts has got Smith on his outside. Smith, a very good support player in the 6 jumper.
Great tackle, Jeff Tuvey.
And now we find Newlove a dummy half, and he goes for it. Newlove, he's big and he's strong and he's over. Newlove is over. He went for it cheekily down the blind side, and the big man has scored again. He has scored a try in each of his World Cup performances this season, and he's kept that record intact.
Yeah, great tackle by Jeff Tuvey originally, but then he was slow around the marker area. And Newlove saw that. He couldn't get up, Jeff Tuvey. There he is getting up now. He's offside. Only 2 defenders there. Have to say, pretty ordinary attempt by Dallas, but he's very big, very strong, Newlove. Look at him go. He'd be 15.5, 16 stone, this centre. And sheer strength gets him over.
I thought it was very poor reading from Terry Hill. He had to realise that Tuvey was slow off the ground, so he couldn't commit himself. Hill starts to go to the left-hand side of the ruck. has to come back, and by that time the bird had flown. Dallas hadn't come up to meet, and Paul Newlove, very, very strong player.
Well, they needed that. I mean, he's still entitled to be tackled, isn't he? They've got him, what, 6 metres out. They're entitled to stop him, but as I said, he's very strong. And now Bobby Goulding from the touchline to try and level the scores at Wembley.
So Paul Newlove, the youngest ever international for Great Britain, scores a try in each of his World Cup appearances at the tournament. Goulding, that's the job he's got, but he's hooked it. So Australia retained the lead. At Wembley, it's 10-8. Australia in front. Now we're at the third tackle, and we're just outside the 30-metre line. Tackle across the shoulders, said the referee. Jim Dimmock's tackle, he ruled it to be across the shoulders as Cassidy comes in, and he loses the ball. Tuvey is with it. 35 towards the line. He's 5 metres out for Andrew Johns to go to dummy half. Johns now looks around for Fittler. Fittler's with it. Tuvey now. Tuvey, he does the scampering. He tries to get out of the tackle, but he's 2 metres out when pulled down by Andy Platt. Now they go on the 5th tackle for Fittler. He puts the kick in. A race for the ball and toe. Oh, the in-goal judge is gone. Base over apex.
And Jason Robinson has been wiped out as well. Great little kick from Brad Fittler. Had to thread the needle. Despairing dive there from Coyne, and then Jason Robinson crashes into the in-goal judge. And he is still down, receiving attention.
England are down to 12 men. And the player in question is out of the field of play. And the Englishmen are appealing for timeout. But Jason Robinson is the centre of great concern at the moment. Well, Cummings held the game as long as he could. It's my understanding that with a player off the field completely, he had no right to hold it as long as he did.
Okay, let's go.
As Dimmock throws it and Larson takes it towards the centre. Andrew Johns is talking confidently now as the youngster starts to assume some command out there. At no stage wanting to override or overrule his captain, but Fittler is out very wide. He's outside Pay. He gets it as the second man play. He goes himself, Fittler, turns it back into open space, and Andy Platt dives on the ball for England.
Leaving from the kick-off at this second half, Australia just didn't come out with the same intensity they left the field with. There's no surprise really to see England run in a try. It might have been the best thing that could have happened just to get the mind back on the job as Farrell comes blindside. Very close to the touchline, taken strongly by Hill and Dallas. A real spring in the step of the Englishman now.
Cassidy to have added something to them. He's obviously far more mobile than Carl Harrison. Offia gives it for Goulding, and a torpedo kick going down the ground, and Rod Wishart watches it over the sideline. So Terry Hill is tackled now. 3 metres into England's territory. Johns combines with Dean Pay. And now they're inside the 40-metre line. They're putting this set of 6 together with a little bit more patience than the earlier one, where the mistake came early in the tackle count. Now Larson is 30 metres out from the line. They've got a couple of tackles left. They come wide now. Fittler takes them to the line. Then Brasher. Brasher puts on a step. He's been caught by Newlove. Menzies is with him. Menzies. He's going to be put down. 8 metres out from the line on 5. Tuvey's calling the ball to the left. They go right. Jason Smith lofts the ball in. Clark is with it for England.
Oh, once again, Australia going close, but not completing their set of 6 tackles. Offia offloads. Radlinski might offer nothing in attack, but he's a very strong defender, and when Menzies went through, it looked like he might score, but Radlinski pulled him down.
Australia back the 10 metres. They don't want to give a penalty here. They know they've got England nailed deep inside the 20-metre line, and there's 4 tackles gone as Cassidy plays it. Jackson uses Platt. Platt reaches the 20-metre line, and that's 5. So now England will be looking for the big boot of Farrell, I would imagine. It's with him. Menzies puts a bit of a charge down on him. Larson tries to help. Farrell's kick is not that bad, and it bounces twice on the 40-metre line, other end of the ground for Brasher. 53 minutes gone in the World Cup final. Australia leading by 2 as Dallas burrows his way through. Tuvey now looking for a call. There's Fittler. Watches them come up quickly, and Johns is tackled by Connolly, but let me tell you, he is letting them get inside the 10. Dimmick now across for Menzies. Menzies still into some space, and he gets a pass away for Tuvey. Tuvey back, it's loose. Goulding's got it for England now. Chances coming for Australia, and a penalty to England.
And another 10 metres here for throwing the football away. Well, in fact, Tim Brasher has had something to say.
And it would seem it's only a matter of time before they put England away to bed, but whilst the score is still 10-8, England's still a big chance.
Wishart.
Well, it's got to be said also that England have busted Australia a couple of times, most notably Tony Smith not long ago, but
Fittler up the centre. Now Brasher, everywhere Fittler is, Brasher's not far behind, and Brasher is now 48 metres away from the England line. They're on their heels at the moment as it goes away from Coyne into Tuvey's hands, and then on to Johns, and a face ball finds Menzies, goes for the throttle inside the 30, got a pass away. Well, Dimmick has been tackled. Question mark on whether he had the football.
Well, I still don't think the pass should have been thrown, Ray. Dimmick wasn't going anywhere, he was shadowed, and there was no other support. That's the problem for the Australians at the moment. The last pass is not finding the mark and doesn't need to be thrown on occasions.
There's Harrison now, back in a period in the blood bin, as is Mark Carroll. And here's Dennis Betts, 5 metres on his side of halfway. Some of the sting has been taken out of Jason Robinson by that unfortunate incident. Just watching him earlier trying to make ground, but he didn't have the full use of one of the ankles. As Goulding puts a kick in, and Brasher is back consummately. Comes back to Oppia and Newlove. Terry Hill now using Dallas. And young Brett Dallas is slammed over the top. He basically fell into the tackle of Harrison. Hill now goes around the back of Dean Pay and finds Mark Carroll. Working it away, 35 metres from their own line as Gary Larson fends off one, fends off a second. Connolly brings him down. So now Jim Dimmick, and Dimmick is a penalty here for Australia. It's high, the tackle on Jim Dimmick. Bob Fulton talking to his manager, Jeff Carr, who's relaying the messages to the sideline.
Well, they're taking plenty of high shots. The Australians, Phil Larder looks on. Eric Aston, a former great in front of him. This referee's had a fair game, but the 10 is slowly but surely becoming 6 or 5 metres.
Jim Dimmick has also been warned about having things to say out there. Just got the penalty and keep quiet. Good kick there. 6 tackles now from 31 metres out. Tuvey to find Carroll. Now the second ball will be kicked before we restart.
So can they put 6 together, the Australians? It seems to be the problem. Just can't quite put that nail in the coffin of England.
I think they need to put 12 together too, Ray. If they can't score in this set of 6, the little kick into the in-goal area. Keep the pressure on. Fittler the blind side. Finds Brasher again.
Brasher smothered by Farrell's tackle with Clark. Brasher plays it 12 metres out. Back for Fittler. And then a long ball. It'll be taken on the second bounce by Terry Hill. And Hill is put down 25 metres out. Johns in a dummy half. Dimmick. Larson ran a shepherd. Penalty goes to England. So they're not just finishing their work off.
Well, that's 6 in a row. But they haven't completed their sets of 6. England now getting desperate, trailing by the 2 points.
Second ball again has crept onto the pitch. It's the reason for timeout. And Lee Jackson opts to use the other ball.
13 minutes to go in this game. Ample time for both teams to win. Australia at the ascendancy on the scoreboard, but England can feel as though they're warming up to something here. Been a long time since they've been down this end.
Dennis Betts. Radlinski. Farrell is with him on the right. 30 metres out from the line. Centre of the ground. 2 points in it. Australia 10-8. That is Cassidy. England to the left are deep. Goulding using Clark. 5 is gone.
Yeah, Brasher's got to get some help here.
So it's Farrell. It came off the legs of one of the Australians. It's play on. There was no semblance of the Australian playing at the ball, particularly with the hands. And so Australia looking to get outside England quickly from their own zone. And a run for Rod Wishart. Connolly's got him in his sights. He comes to Connolly and he puts him down. But they need to spread the ball quickly to the right. England still getting back onside. They're a mile inside the 10 as Brasher takes it to that line. Harrison is there to make the tackle with Clark. 25 metres out from the England line. 2 points the margin. Carroll, Larson, a handoff for Menzies, and then Dimmick, and then the angle for Hill. Beats one. And Terry Hill will be made to play the ball as Lee Jackson makes the tackle. 20 metres out from the England line, from Tuvey. It's with Andrew Johns, and he looks for Menzies. He plays the ball for Tuvey. They go out for Fittler. Fittler kicks, and it came off the Englishman. And it's back with Fittler. Now it's from Wishart into the hands of Carroll. Carroll back for Johns. Johns got a pass away. Kicked by Brasher. That could well be a try for Tim Brasher. I think he's going to give it. He has. Tim Brasher has scored for Australia. 14 points to 8.
And this will be very interesting to have a look at. Beautiful hands from the Australians keeping the ball alive. Brad Fittler kicked on the far side, got the rebound, offloaded back to his winger Wishart. They came centre field. Andrew Johns got through, and Timmy Brash had the presence of mind to put the ball on the boot. There's Fittler retrieving his own kick. Back to Wishart. Mark Carroll offloads straight away to Andrew Johns. The big sidestep there gets him through the front line. The flick pass towed through by Brasher. Radlinski touches the football, and Brasher crawls after it.
Oh, yeah, the game's all about anticipation, staying alive, and this is what they do. Fittler here, he thought that he was going to get 6 more. That wasn't the case. And from here on, some good hands. I think this ball actually comes off Brasher's shoulder, so it's no knock on. There, it comes off the fullback and off Brasher, and the crawl, the scramble for World Cup supremacy.
You're absolutely right, Paul. We've got some mystified faces of English supporters looking back at us as if to say that's not a try. But as I thought in the commentary, it was still play on. It was Radlinski who got the touch, and if it did come off Brasher, it didn't come off the hands or the arms, and that is still play on. Very important kick, this one. 14-8, a converted try in front. This could wrap the game up. Running out of time, needing to score twice, Englishman, if this goes over. Johns, the flags are up. The flags are up, and the World Cup now looks almost certain to stay with the holders at 16-8.
And Brett Jackson
has gone right across to the centre of the ground.
He's had a great game, hasn't he, Brett Dallas? Only turned 21 a week or so ago. He's done a lot of very, very good things. The Wishart had a fine second half as well. Andrew Johns, BBC man of the match. Been very busy around the rucks. Good kicking game. But a great victory. They'll win this. 16-8 they lead. They can't possibly get beaten. A couple of minutes to go. And a great victory. And it's Australian Rugby League race side up against the so-called might of the Super League of England.
Here's Fittler trying to do what he did against New Zealand. Menzies was there. Now Jason Smith. Tackled, not held, is he? Yes, it's been ruled forward. So recall by referee Cummings.
Yeah, he got that on the advice of the touch judge. I think a correct decision. Fittler went through. This ball from Menzies. Probably a couple of foot forward. Jason Smith done some great work as well since he's come on, the Queenslander.
Amazing you'd say that. Only 3 of them in the match too. But just getting back to Brett Dallas, you know, it couldn't have happened to a nicer young man, and probably none more deserving. Remember, he had no luck coming up to the grand final, being ruled out with injury. A grand final won by his club. And of course, he had no luck through the Test series either.
So I went down into Gary Connolly, still trying very hard. And the wind's gone out of the English sails now.
We've got 2 minutes left on our clock as Andy Platt takes them on, and Jackson goes out. Betts is with it. Smith joins in, driving tackle by Tuvey. They've got the numbers. Farrell gets it away. England are down the right with Clark, and Clark is taken out by Brasher.
And a penalty goes. Bit of drama over there now. Stuart Cummings trying to get some authority in that passage of play, but good cover by Timmy Brasher.
10 minutes for Mark Carroll.
Mark Carroll has been sent to the sin bin for 10 minutes, and he's far from happy. So Australia down to 12 men. The last seconds of this game. Nervously, we count them down. Farrell is away from Dimmick, taken by Larson and Jason Smith. They are where they want to be, particularly against a team of 12 men. Goulding now, menacingly. Joint comes in on the angle, and Joint will play it now. 7 metres out from the line. Andy Platt, away from Smith, on for Betts, wide for Newlove. Newlove pulled down. Tuvey did well, so did Terry Hill. To the right for Smith. Long ball over for Jackson. Wide they go. The run around by Jackson. He puts the kick in, looking for Clark. Wishart is there, and that just about wraps up the World Cup.
Good stuff. Great defence by Australia. Tackle here on the other side of the park by Tuvey on Newlove was a corker. And then Wishart, they're desperate. They want to hang on. We're over time now, into injury time.
A great way, I feel, for the season to culminate, particularly with this side that I said earlier, a much maligned Australian side, being able to retain the trophy that has been won for them 4 consecutive times. And for that reason alone, I'm probably happier to see this Australian side win than any other that I've had the privilege of covering. But these boys have been magnificent. Many of them probably would not have got to wear a green and gold jumper had circumstances been different. But they've stood tall, they have stood proud. And Jackson goes away from dummy half to be tackled 7 metres out from the Australian line. 16 points to 8. And the timepiece has indicated to us several seconds ago that as Clark makes a break and Australia's Wishart again is there, and Rod tries to turn it around. That's the 10-metre line behind him. As the Australians embrace, they're of the opinion the siren has sounded, but the referee says play on. And 30 metres out from the line is Mark Coyne. Tuvey. Andrew Johns winning his 3rd Man of the Match award from the BBC people. One of their judges is a man by the name of Alex Murphy, who is well qualified to make awards like that. Tuvey now. Jason Smith on the halfway line. Work on the blind. There's plenty of numbers. Brasher. It came off the head. No knock on for mine as the ball is now covered up by Redlinski, but it goes into touch. There it is. There's the siren. It's all over. The World Cup remains with Australia and continues their domination of the event since 1972. The Kangaroos of 1995 have done it in the minds of many. They've done it in the face of great adversity. And it's a very proud moment, I'm sure, for not only the 13 or the 17 men that have represented Australia today with honour. It's been a proud moment for Bob Fulton, no doubt. And back in Australia, I would think even a prouder moment for Ken Arthurson and John Quayle. The World Cup has been won by the Australian Rugby League Kangaroos. And what a moment in anyone's career. But today, it's for Brad Fittler.
We said at the beginning of the telecast, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world today than at Wembley Stadium. I don't think I'd want to be anywhere else in the world apart from that platform right now. It is the best walk in rugby league.
It is something that has eluded more in the game than have made it. Big Mark Carroll typifies the exuberance and the passion with which this team attacked their World Cup opportunity. An opportunity they took and converted into one of their memorable moments in life.
And there was a player there on screen now, Gary Larson, Nick Kossoff holding up the cup. He didn't get on today, but he will in future. Well, we hope. Gary Larson wasn't in the original squad, but he's flown over. When we had the injury to Paul Harrigan, he's played a major part in this Australian victory.
As the last of the players soak up the magic moment of walking off Wembley as a team of winners.